Wake up.
What? Where am I?
The Citadel. It's my home.
Who are you?
I am the Catalyst.
I thought the Citadel was the catalyst.
No, the Citadel is part of me.
I need to stop the Reapers. Do you know how I can do that?
Perhaps. I control the Reapers. They are my solution.
Solution? To what?
Chaos.
Spoilers! Spoiler alert. Spoilers.
No
Spoiler
bitching.
alert. It's time
Except
for spoilers. Because you have requested, oh dear Lord in heaven, we're going to talk about Mass Effect 3.
Didn't we just do this?
It seems like it. I've kind of gotten to the point where, oh, Mass Effect, I don't want to, I don't know. It's like that really ugly girl that you woke up with that one night. I'm just like, man, I don't want to.
You mean Liara?
Hey, Liara's fit. Leave her out.
No. The
Tentacles coming out of her head?
The Jessica Chobot character was way closer to that.
In the video game, of course.
In the
not
video
real
game,
life.
yes. So welcome everybody to the Loading Bars spoiler Mass Effect 3 ending spoiler part 2. I am Professor Jeff. I have with me Mr. Nicholas Hodges.
Hello.
And Mr. Jason Murphy.
Howdy.
And here we are again to talk about Mass Effect 3. So, I guess a little background for anybody who is unfamiliar with this. I don't know how you could be at this point. Fucking everybody. But, so Mass Effect 3 came out. People did not like the ending. We didn't like the ending. We had a whole podcast where we talked about what we didn't like about the ending. There was enough fan outcry that BioWare went back and created a free DLC called the Mass Effect 3 Extended Cut.
Yeah, we knew that they were going to be changing the ending, but we didn't know at the time that they were going to be extending the crappy ending that we didn't like from the original.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can't backpedal.
Yeah.
It's all about... It really kind of felt like, okay, let's explain to you guys how you're wrong and you didn't get it.
No, it was more like, let's explain to you why you didn't like the original game.
Well, I mean,
let's extend on that.
You know, from the moment that the rumblings of dissatisfaction first started about the Mass Effect 3 ending, the team that worked on this at BioWare was consistently like, look, this was always our intention. This is what we wanted to do. We felt like we did it real well. So when this was put out, there were a lot of people who were like, "Ooh, do you think that it's gonna be the indoctrination theory?" Or, "Oh, do you think they're gonna totally reel through the ending?" It's like, no, they're not going to significantly change the story. It's just going to add to it so that all of the huge gaping plot holes, you could fill in maybe 50% of them. So
yeah, it's let's take what's already there and spoon feed it to everyone.
Yeah, which we'll get to the problems with that in a minute. So I guess the first thing that I kind of wanted to talk about is, like, there have been a lot of people who have been messaging me, and apparently, you know, Kevin got a lot of emails about this from an email show about this new Mass Effect 3 and like, ooh, how do you guys feel about it? And I'd like to start just by saying that I felt like meh. Like,
yeah.
It's I was telling Dick before, like, I'm not, you know, I feel that, like, once I hit, you know, I don't want to be stupid about age thing or anything, but, like, once I hit, like, my later 20s, I stopped being indignant about things for a long time. Like, it wasn't the sort of thing where every day I woke up and I was like, fuck, man, Mass Effect 3's ending is still shitty. Like, damn it, I'm so pissed off all the time. Like, I could... You know, once Mass Effect 3 had come and gone, and we got through a few other games, I honestly had kind of cooled down about the thing. I mean, I didn't feel the need to go back and play it, but it's like I wasn't harboring a deep-seated anger. And eventually, it's just hard to keep up that level of righteous indignation for a long period of time. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of where I ended up at.
Yeah, by this point, you've really got to be invested and still pissed off and itching to even care. I mean, I was annoyed with it, but now I'm just like, whatever. Okay, this is what you've got? Great. That this is your new thing? Okay, how most of it is the same? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, moving on.
Which I only mention it because I think that when this came out, I saw a lot of people who said, like, oh, this is way better. I think it's the sort of thing where, in my opinion, it's not really that much better. It's just the same thing extended, and the thing is that we've all had time to essentially learn to live with the crappiness of the existing Mass Effect 3 ending, and so they add on to it, and it's definitely better, but it's not really significantly better than it was before.
The only thing that's annoying... Okay, there are many things that are fucking annoying with this, but the main thing that's annoying is that how the BioWare team stated that this is what they've always intended...
Yeah.
And yet they expected us to read into their original endings in the first place, whereas they get surprised when we say that it's shit.
Yeah.
So when they give us this ending, it's like, well, this is what was going to happen. It's like, oh, how the fuck were we supposed to know that?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't give us anything.
There was actually an interview that I posted up on my Facebook page that was right before this came out, where obviously some little PR person over at EA was doing a community manager, I think, was doing an interview with them, and they were like, well, we wanted to leave it really open-ended so that people could kind of make their own decisions about what that ending meant. And I think that, if that's what they honestly wanted to do originally, then they needed to not have taken that dramatic left turn, because that just created more questions than it did opportunities to make up your own ending. And even in addition to that, like, I've been following this franchise for this long. I don't want to make up my own ending. I want to fucking, I want a dramatic conclusion. Like, it's books, movies, fucking video games, they have conclusions. Like, I don't understand why this particular franchise needed to get all, just make it up yourself and decide what does it mean to you as a person in life. And,
is the top still spinning?
Yeah.
Are we still in the dream? What's the kick? I don't know. It just felt very pseudo intellectual and forced. It felt like they were trying to take some bubblegum slam bang action sci-fi operatic film and pack it with all sorts of transhumanist, high-minded ideas. It felt very forced. And my big thing was that the ending just really betrayed the pace and the excitement of the series.
Yeah.
Especially as each of the games reached their climax. It's like you got to this really good climax, and all of a sudden it comes to a dead fucking stop. Mm-hmm. And then it goes on for another, half hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's how you wrap it up? You grind everything to a standstill, and we have to talk to this ghost kid? And it's still the same thing. It's the same damn thing. It's just spelled out for you a little more.
Well, let's go over. I've actually made some notes here, so let's go over briefly some of the changes that have been made in no particular order. I'm going to leave some of the big ones for the end so that we can get at them a little bit more as they come up. But one of the big new ones, one of the things that everybody kind of got on them about is when you're running. At the end, when you're running towards the beam that'll take you up to the Citadel, in the previous version, you're running at it, you get in there, suddenly your two crew members are just nowhere to be found. You're there by yourself. In this extended cut, there's a, in my opinion, a severely out of place scene where one of your crew members gets injured, the Normandy comes down in the middle of this fight, and you put that member along with the other one on the Normandy. If it's your love interest, you say, I love you, goodbye, whatever, and then they fly off, and then Shepard continues to keep going to the place where you fight Marauder shields and you get in and whatever.
I love how they put the lives of the crew on the ship at risk just to, save one wounded crew member. Well, what guy on your side, especially when Harbinger is fucking there.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't. I think the problem with this is that the place where that happens is after you've already seen 2/3 of the remaining forces of Earth running at this beam, just getting the shit kicked out of them. Lasers from everywhere, people getting burned up, things are exploding, and suddenly the giant fucking Normandy just presents its ass to Harbinger in the middle of this fight so that you could get one wounded person on there and get them out of there. And it stays there for like a good 90 seconds, if not longer. You're just like, why the fuck didn't Harbinger just take, Normandy is like Harbinger's arch enemy. It's just sitting there hovering. Why didn't it take a shot at it?
Yeah, that was even, it's like, well, I'm glad they addressed that.
Yeah.
But what? It's like, did they have a cloaking device that we didn't know about? What's going on?
Well, plus,
is Joker really just that good?
Yeah, but people would be arguing, the Normandy has stealth systems, like, not to Reapers they don't,
Well, stealth, electronic stealth packages are one thing, but when you have this giant fucking ship just sitting there, like, in front of the Reapers, surely the Reapers aren't that fucking stupid as to be like, wait, what is that? Oh, I'm not picking up an IFF from it, so whatever, it must be fine.
It's probably fine.
Yeah. Plus, the other thing about that scene that always got me was, the Normandy bothered to come down in the middle of this firefight to pick up, like, your love interest and your other crew member.
But not everybody else.
But not the hundreds of other wounded people screaming and dying on the battlefield. Like,
Shepard's like, those guys? No, fuck them. My people. My people.
Or even did they take the giant Thanix cannons off of the Normandy that I put on them in Mass Effect 2? Couldn't we have, if the Normandy was just going to come down in the middle of this fight, couldn't you guys have taken a shot at Harbinger while you're down here? I mean, I'm not saying you're going to blow him up or anything, but fucking distract him for 2 seconds so that we get a whole battalion into that beam.
That's a damn good point.
I feel that like this one particular point is kind of indicative of the problem with this DLC, is that yes, they explain these points, but by doing that, they just are raising more things where you're like, but so we've got that. Later on, after you've made your decision about which of the endings that you want, there is a scene that is added in there where Admiral Hackett orders Joker to evacuate the Normandy from the field, and
so he orders the evacuation of all the ships from the field, right?
Yeah. And Joker doesn't want to go, and one of the characters will come and be like, oh, Joker, we have to go, and then he turns around and leaves. It's not entirely clear to me exactly why everybody has to leave, but
it's because the Crucible is armed. That's the only reason. Like, the Citadel's armed. Like, it wasn't armed before. Or
I don't know. It's a real nitpicky point, but you just have to say, like, if whatever was going to come out of the Crucible was going to damage a whole bunch of, like, it was going to fuck up anything that it hit, that thing was awful close to Earth. It's probably going to end up fucking up way more than that, but it's not a big thing. It basically just goes to there was the plot hole previously of why is Joker in the mass relay running away from this energy beam or energy wave, and that is essentially the answer to that. Speaking of that, the energy wave coming through the mass relays no longer hits the Normandy. There was a scene previously where Joker's frantically trying to get away from it, and the little energy thing would catch up with the Normandy, and there would be a flash, and that would cut to the Normandy on this planet. Now, Joker pushes the fucking turbo boost button on the Normandy, and it manages to get away from the beam through the mass relay.
Then why does it land on that planet?
Well, yeah.
Just to enjoy the scenery, I guess. Yeah, it's like
Joker's like,
all right,
fuck
guys,
it.
get the pina coladas out. We did it. We ran away.
Shepard's not here anymore to boss us around. We got this sweet ride, tropical planet. I got all these bitches now. One of them's a robot bitch. She's going to be into some freaky shit. You know that. Did I go too far?
No, you went just far enough.
That's a plot point of Mass Effect 3, is that robot bitch is into some freaky shit with that dude with the breakable bones.
Her whole body's like those Magic Fingers beds in a cheap motel.
Ooh. Let's see. Speaking of the Normandy landing on that planet, apparently the Normandy takes off from that planet. So it's less like in the previous ending. This is also one of those things where you go, well, wait a minute.
It's almost kind of pointless. Like, they might as well just like land the ship, and they just went outside to use the to take a piss in the woods
Right.
because the toilet's not working. Well, they fly off again.
Joker, stop there. Dude, I really gotta pee. Stop there on that jungle planet.
I
Stop there.
told you to go before we left Earth, all right?
It's like, God damn it, dude. Reapers, man. I know, but dude, come on.
I mean, it's the implication in the previous ending was that the energy wave hits the Normandy crash lands on this planet. That's it. In this one, the implication is that the Normandy outruns the energy wave. They land extremely poorly because it still looks like they fucking crashed on this planet. The only addition at that point is there is a scene in all three endings where I actually thought this was a good scene where the crew adds Commander Shepard's nameplate to the Normandy board. Oh, the dead. And it's your love interest that does it, and everybody's standing around, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, there's another scene they added where the Normandy essentially takes off of that planet. So it's not like they're stuck there forever because people said, well, half your crew's going to starve because incompatible plant life. And it's like, okay, so the Normandy isn't actually trapped there. Let's see. Also, we've seen that they have changed the mass relays blowing up to be much less and more just like, and they fall apart.
But this is my biggest pet peeve of the original ending because the destruction of the mass relays, encourages the destruction of the entire galactic civilization since they require those mass relays to travel around amongst each other. And when some planets don't get enough supplies, people will starve in the billions, basically. So now that the mass relays are just damaged, there's the possibility of them being repaired. In the two of the endings make sense as to why the mass relays could be repaired. The destruction ending doesn't make any fucking sense as well. So
yeah, there's a lot that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I mean, I think that the Mass Effects kind of crumble apart, and in two of the endings they show them being put back together. And one of them it makes a certain amount of sense. The other one it makes a little bit less sense, but.
Two of them make sense, but the destroy ending doesn't make sense because should we talk about the endings?
Well, we're going to do that. We're going to get there. Okay. But first, we are going to talk about what leads up to the ending, which is the new dialogue that has been added for that dumb fucking laser kid on the Crucible, the Citadel, the Catalyst, whatever fucking
laser kid.
Yeah, the laser kid. The Star Child, the stupid asswipe, AI, dumb... I thought that it was bad before, but so essentially there have been 3 dialogue options added for kind of each phase of this conversation with this kid, where first the kid explains what it is and you can ask a bunch of questions, then it explains all 3 of the new endings. You ask a bunch of questions about those as well. In our previous podcast, I had said these endings might have been appropriate if you had spent some time talking to the kid and gotten a more of a sense about why this was happening and how this was happening. And I take it all back because it's so terrible. It's so fucking stupid talking to this kid. Before it was this cryptic Deus Ex Machina that walks out and is like, oh, make a choice. You could the red pill or the blue pill or fucking the green pill. Now this...
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm
sitting there arguing with this kid and I'm like, no, there's got to be a different way. Okay, you lose. That's the end. That's what you get for arguing with me, asshole. Bam. You like that?
Okay, so how are we going to start this? Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's talk about where he's from and who created him, because that pissed everybody off.
So originally, the Star Child was created by this old civilization to essentially be a negotiator, he was meant to broker essentially a peace between the inevitable conflicts between synthetic life and organic life. And let me just say, he's real fucking bad at it, because apparently after several iterations of trying to broker a peace and the peace not happening, and then you get into this genocidal machines, Skynet wiping everything out nonsense, his eventual fix for this problem was what we see happening. The Reapers come, they take everybody who's able to build robots and melt them down into goo. They take all the robots and they make them all into big mecha space squids. And
which, of course, I mean, that's the obvious solution.
Sure,
Yeah, I can imagine the creators going, we didn't ask you to fucking do that. We told you to broker a peace treaty. Where'd you get this idea about squids from, you fucktard?
Okay, so this is one of my favorite lines. I hate like 90% of the dialogue with this kid, but one of my favorites is this exchange right here. Like, Shepard asks, where did the Reapers come from? Did you create them? The Star Child says, my creators gave them form. I gave them function. They, in turn, gave me purpose. The Reapers are a synthetic representation of my creators. So apparently, the Star Child was created by a big organic space squid, I guess. Shepard says, what happened to your creators? And the Star Child says, they became the first true Reaper. Like, okay. And then the next thing he says is, they did not approve, but it was the only solution. So, in order to keep the conflict between synthetics and organics from destroying the organics, the first thing the Star Child did was turn on its creators and make them into giant mecha space squid that obey its every command. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah. And in talking to this kid, I really felt like we were talking to the architect from Matrix Revolutions.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's like, and quid pro quo vis-a-vis. The only solution was vis-a-vis the bot. It was just like, blah, blah, blah.
As you
it's
go,
like, just shut up.
As you go forward, there's this line that the kid has where he says, you talk about being in war with the Reapers, and the kid says, when fire burns, is it a war? Is it in conflict? Or is it simply doing what it was created to do? It's like, fire can't think or talk to you, you stupid motherfucker. You're not a universal force of nature. You're a fucking rogue VI that's just doing this stupid shit. Like,
each Reaper has proved that has the capability of speaking and thinking in a far more intelligent way than any organic or synthetic can.
Well, plus,
so,
you know, if the Reapers are so just like, oh, well, we're just doing what we were meant to do, why the fuck are they so malevolent? Why are they so, blah, you will be destroyed, resistance is futile, blah, like... Every time you talk to a Reaper, they're just the biggest fucking dicks in the universe. You're like, well, if you guys, these dispassionate robots trying to help you, like...
in Mass Effect 1 and 2, they were malevolent. But in Mass Effect 3, they just suddenly start going, oh, we're doing a big favor, trust us. We're trying to save you by killing you.
Yeah. If they wanted to do this, they shouldn't have made it all scary. They all should have shown up looking like Edie.
It's
like,
an army of
hey,
sexy
we're
robots.
sexy robots. Come to our sexy robot cyborg future. Join us, and it'll be sexy robot time all the time.
You know what? That actually leads nicely into something that I talked about with a few different people about this, is that
sexy robot time.
Sexy robot time.
Why does it always come down to this with you?
You know, I can't wait for the future. That's all I have to say.
Amen.
Is that, you know, I like the game seems to be trying to kind of make you in a certain way sympathize with the Reapers, as like they're just trying to do what they think is right. They're just trying to, you know, solve this galactic problem the only way they can figure out how to do it. I may have had some more sympathy if at any point throughout the game, and I don't know how you do this, just shove it into the story like you did everything else. If you were to let the player see what life is like inside of a Reaper. Because the only thing that we know about Reapers is that they murder you and then they melt down your decaying corpse into goop and then put that goop into a giant robot squid. Like, if you were able to somehow... Jason, you talked about the Matrix, like Matrix jack into a Reaper and see what life is like in there, and like inside of the Reaper, it's a big AI construct, everybody's happy, they're having sex with robots, having sex with whatever they want to, and it's just a fucking 24-hour party in the civilization inside the Reaper. It might have been a more, like, I might have had a little bit more sympathy. Like, yeah, on the outside you're melting us down into goo, but then you're saving our consciousness in a giant sex party inside of a robo squid. And that's pretty cool.
You're not giving me a lot of options here. It's like, oh, hey, sexy party time? Okay, yeah, I'm with you. All right. But instead it's, all right, annihilation.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially I just can't get over the melting you down part. Like, was that really necessary?
Yeah, don't sugarcoat it, you little bitch.
What else stupid? There's some other stupid shit that the Star Child says. Basically, I mean, they just explain the different endings. I think that the kid is definitely pushing you. The new dialogue definitely pushes you in the direction of the synthesis ending. The kid's all like, well, that's what you're supposed to do. That's how it's going to happen. And you're just like, oh, okay. Except that the logic for it is really flawed. He says organics seek perfection through technology. Synthetics seek perfection in understanding. I'm like, just the phrase organics seek perfection through technology is so fucking ridiculous. Like, maybe it's the childish view of a machine, but like, oh yeah, because, I value my worth as a human being based on how good a computer I have. And,
I could tell you what I hate most about the synthetic ending, and why I'll never choose it. Basically, the idea of the synthesis ending is that in order to avoid conflict between synthetics and organics, you have to combine them together. That's like getting rid of racism by making everybody in the world white. It's just fucking retarded. I can imagine Corey waking up being white. It's like, I didn't ask for this. Whose fucking idea was that?
There's even a line from the Star Child where he says, they asked about, he said he tried it in the past, but it didn't work. And Chipper says, why? And the Star Child says, because the organics were not ready. It is not something that can be forced. But that ending is you forcing everybody in the universe to become a fucking cyborg. Like,
exactly. Christ.
Yeah, that's about all I have to say about that stupid shit. Anything else you guys have about this particular point? We're going to move on from here to the endings. So, but I just felt like in putting all this dialogue in there, it made your Deus Ex Machina just seem that much stupider, like some kind of retarded laser kid with too much power, and that's about it. No. Okay. All right. So let's move on to one of the other.
I just wish the kid wasn't a ghost. So you could have just pistol whipped him.
Well, that actually leads directly into the new ending that you have called Refusal, which is dumb as well. And I actually got this was the first of the new endings that I saw, because when that kid was done spewing all this dumb stuff, the first thing that I did was turn my character to the side and shoot him with my gun, which triggers this new ending where basically you shoot the kid with your gun, he disappears, you hear this big ominous, "So be it." And then, like,
you really pissed him off, when you did that. He's like sulking away. He's like, "So be it. You didn't choose the 3 shitty endings I chose for you. Fuck you."
Yeah, I actually felt
that's what happened with yours?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. What happened with yours?
I was just arguing with him, and then I was like, no, there has to be another way. And then it was just like, all right, it's over. And there was a hologram of Liara going, "Hopefully you can learn from this. We lost." I was like, wait, what? What?
Yeah, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Yeah. Well, I was like, what the fuck? I was just telling him, no, I think you're wrong. It's like, all right, fuck you. The end. It's over.
Yeah,
I'm taking my Reaper and I'm going home.
That's BioWare's angry revenge on you. Oh, you don't like the story? Well, then fuck you. The end. That's it. Bye.
That's what happened.
Well, we should maybe go into this a little bit more. Apparently, you see, so be it. The catalyst light goes out. You kind of crossfade over to this beacon on a planet with nothing around it, and then underground it's this degraded hologram of Liara, basically, like you guys said, saying, "We tried to fight the Reapers. We fucked it up. Here's all the information that we've got. Hopefully next time this happens, whoever's reading this will have a better chance at this than we did."
Why is that beacon still on? Wouldn't that waste the power? Just
it's Mass Effect.
The future's
powers.
not very green, is what Nick is saying.
Yeah. So, and then from there, it's very strange. Like, they have the post credit sequence with with Buzz Aldrin and the kid on the planet that they had before, except that instead of Buzz Aldrin, it's this weird spindly looking like alien with a lady voice who has a slightly different thing to say about how, well, it's thanks to the technology that they left behind that we were able to blah 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 happily ever after.
I didn't see that. Okay, that's quite cool.
Yeah. The main problem with the refusal ending is that if they were going to take that tack, if they were going to be like dicks about it this way, they should have shown the entire universe getting butt fucked. Like, you know, the fact that you shoot this kid and it fades to black and then it fades back up and it's just like, yeah, we lost and everything got destroyed. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least show me everything getting destroyed. Or at least
the true purpose of the Crucible is to butt fuck the universe.
Right.
So that's refusal. I think that it was, you know, I guess it's like BioWare's like, if you really wanted to have another option, here's this shitty option that nobody in their right mind would ever take. But so then we have the 3 previous endings that have been changed over, and I want to talk about my favorite first, which is the Control ending. And
really, that was your favorite?
Absolutely.
That was your favorite from the original?
That was the only one that made sense to me in the original.
Really? The Destruction was like the one that made most sense to me, because I thought that if I was Shepard, then surely I would be corrupted by the Reapers, and the Reapers would remain a threat. Whereas if you destroy the Reapers, then you would fulfill the task that everyone died for, which was to save the galaxy from these things.
But I mean, it wasn't like the thing about the Control ending was it was always framed in the form of non-indoctrination. It wasn't like you're gonna have to fight the Reapers for mental control of them for the rest of mankind. It's like they are willingly accepting your complete control over them.
Oh, sure, they won't lie. I mean, it's not like a Reaper to ever lie, you know. They do, yes, they do. They indoctrinate people. They fucking lie all the time.
The thing about the Destroy ending is that I spent so much fucking time getting the Geth together that just wiping them out seemed like if there was another solution, that seemed like a shitty way for them to go out. But in any case, some of the additions to the new endings, all 3 of them have this. Is there is a little bit more siege. There's a little bit more cutscenes showing the battle with the Reapers happening on multiple planets. So you see the Asari, fighting, and you see Krogan's fighting in certain places, and then you get your big energy beam, and a few different things happen. Either everybody turns all cyber whatever, or the Reapers fall down, or the Reapers fly off, or what have you. And then there's a series of still frames with some dialogue over them that accompanies kind of what comes after. And I liked the Control ending because it just the dialogue on the Control ending further reinforced the fact that Starchild is fucking retarded. Because if you just
comes out in a helmet.
Because when you look at the dialogue on the Control ending, I think that what you see there is that as long as you have somebody who's reasonable and not retarded running the Reapers, no, it's fine. Like, it's fine. We put the gates back together, rebuild all the civilizations, everybody's happy. You got the Reapers there to be like, don't fuck up, and everything is cool, and that's it.
Also, the Reapers are shown to actually repair the mass relays.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because I don't think that any of the galactic civilizations can actually repair them themselves, since they didn't even make the mass relays to begin with. So I don't think even they know how the fucking things work.
Yeah. And I also like that ending because it frames Shepard as like kind of like the most exceptional person in the universe. That like you finally have this person who is able to take this conflict and just through the force of their will and their character, they're able to straighten it out and make sure that everybody gets along and build a better, brighter tomorrow for the galaxy. And you're like, okay, I'm cool with that. Like, I like that because it makes your player seem exceptional. It makes your choices seem exceptional. Bada boom. You're good to go.
It's actually now my favorite ending, now that I see the consequences of that decision of choosing the Control ending.
Yeah.
I was like, so I originally liked the Destruction ending. This one is the best one, in my opinion.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the new Destruction ending. The Destruction ending has kind of gotten a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's basically Admiral Hackett saying, we did it. We saved the galaxy, and everything that was destroyed, we can rebuild. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How can you get to each other? How can you fix the mass relays? He says, we'll find a way to rebuild them. Yeah, but how? That's my main problem with them. So
Yeah, it's I don't know.
how do you know everyone is fine? You have no fucking contact with them.
Yeah, it's weird. Also, I think that I in one of these endings, I'm pretty sure it was the Destroy ending. They show, I believe this is the case, and I can't remember, and I don't know if you guys could maybe help me with it.
Are you talking about the fleets
Yeah,
leaving?
they show the fleets just like taking off. And
Yeah, and it shows them like flying past the mass relays. I'm like, well, I guess it's going to take thousands of years before they get to the nearest planet.
Right. It's like, I don't know where you guys are going, but
Read
it's
a
going to
book.
be a long fucking drive.
it's like they were just like, dude, stay here? Fuck that! Like, it's 2,000 years to the nearest planet. Dude, I don't care. Have you seen this place? This place is shitty. Like, Reaper carcasses everywhere. Everybody's dead. No, fuck that. I'm out of here. But I think that one of the
Have you
craziest...
noticed that? Oh, sorry, just quickly. Have you noticed that all the? I think that all the ships that were leaving weren't human. That
Yeah.
they were all like, yeah. So basically, the humans kicked them out. It's like, fuck you guys. You're not staying here on Earth. You can get out. It's like, oh, but it's a long ride.
You don't have to
Shit.
go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah,
should
thanks
add
a lot for thanks a lot for saving our planet and saving the human race. But you can't stay here. I'm sorry about that.
I would
Gotta go.
have absolutely loved to have seen Lance Henriksen have a line of dialogue to address that in there. It's like, and then we told the aliens to go fuck off. This is our place.
And then we sent out a mass email that said, aliens, GTFO.
We defriended them on Facebook, and they were so offended that they left. But I think that there's a couple of things. There's one thing in particular that I think is very strange about this ending, and that is that you see all of this stuff, and you see this kind of time lapse, things being rebuilt, the passage of time. You know, the world's being rebuilt, things are happening, Krogans are having babies, whatever. And then, if your rating is high enough, you still get that scene where Shepard takes a breath and, like, wakes up. And it's kind of strange because it happens after all the rest of this stuff, and you're like, well, wait, when the fuck did this happen? Like, if Shepard is alive, then surely he or she should have been seen in these ending credits where they're rebuilding mankind. Or was Shepard just laying in this pile of garbage for like 2,000 years that just suddenly was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
After
imagine saying
all
that.
this,
I found
Shepard
Shepard's
just
corpse.
went on a
All right, just
bender.
chuck him in the garbage. There's not enough room in the morgue. All right, then.
Yeah.
Savior of mankind. Fucking chuck him away.
No, after all this, Shepard just went on a Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas style bender. He like had a pint of ether, a bag of Quaaludes, and him and Garrus just went and got trashed.
I can just see that him waking up in the hotel room with all the microphone taped to his face. Like, yeah, it was obvious that something terrible had happened here.
We can't stop here. It's Krogan country.
Oh man, somebody! Oh, there's some fan art that needs to be done right there.
Oh yes, but instead of the lawyer, it's got to be like it would have to be like Rex.
Yeah.
In the back, Shepard and Rex driving around in the Nomad or in the Normandy through the desert.
Backcountry.
Yeah.
But I think what's even more interesting about this particular ending is that there was a story like last week or the week before where BioWare came out and said, yes, that's Shepard. Yes, they're alive. And in that ending, yes, this is canon, that Shepard has still survived. Like, essentially just taking away any, you can make an argument, well, maybe that's not Shepard, or maybe blah, 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 or, who knows what happened there. They were just like, yeah, it's Shepard, and yeah, Shepard's alive, and you only get it if you choose the destroy ending, which seems very strange, at least to me. I mean, I don't know. What does that mean? Does that mean there's going to be DLC later on down the line? And if you chose to have Shepard, if you chose the destroy ending, then you get to play as Shepard. If you chose one of the other endings, you get a new character. Or like Mass Effect 4, you're going to be able to play as, old crippled super cyborg Shepard. If you chose that one ending, you port it over to your new game. I don't know. It was a little bit weird that after so long being so cagey about a lot of these things, they just came out and they were like, yeah, that's what it is. Official. Done.
Yeah, They're all talking. No, we want it to be vague and kind of open ended.
Yeah.
Well, except for that, no, we totally want to spell that out for you.
And then the last one, of course, is the stupid synthesis ending, which I'm not a big fan of, but
it shows basically the Reapers and all the galactical civilizations getting along.
Yeah.
Which is something that should have been figured out, thousands of years ago, but the Star Child was too fucking stupid to realize that. But I just hate it because I just think it's incredibly racist that, you could just decide the fate of everyone.
Well, a little bit more specious, I guess, but...
Specious, yeah. What if I don't want to be a
the
machine?
Quarians were like, oh yeah, of course, it's a fucking white male human. Always. Like, when am I going to get a fair shake?
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because this is the slideshow on the synthesis ending. It also shows very briefly a Quarian without their mask on. So apparently turned into cyborgs, fixed all their bullshit. It's just too, it's just too fucking hippie for me, Jason and Nick. Oh no, we're all living together in perfect harmony, man, and like totally get along, and it's the fucking next level, bro. And like, no, fuck you guys.
I'm sorry if you send cannibals and those creepy hag sagging titty things after me. We are never going to get along ever.
Yeah, so that's some like communist bullshit right there.
What you're saying is that it doesn't matter, even if everybody in the universe is still the same species, we'll find something to argue about, motherfucker. It'll be like, yeah, you and I may have the exact same organic makeup, but you believe in a different deity than I do, so fuck you, you die.
Exactly.
The whole point leading up to the end of Mass Effect 3 is that never before in the history of the universe has one single species been able to topple the Reapers. Like, it took the combined forces of every intelligent species to work together. Like, there's unity through diversity, and it just contradicts that. It's like, no, we're just making everybody the same.
Yeah. I don't know. That it just seems like such a... It seems like the stupidest solution to the problem they present. Like, oh, well, organics will always create synthetics, and synthetics will always try to overthrow organics, and the only real solution is just like, no, okay, now everybody's the same thing. There's no such thing as synthetics or organics anymore. It's a dumb, easy solution. Like, yeah, it's a dumb and easy solution. I don't like it.
How the hell are you going to play Mass Effect 4 where everybody is the same? I mean, like, what enemies are you going to fight? Like, guys with blue eyes instead? Green eyes? Shit.
Yeah, I have no idea. At this point, I'm, Mass Effect, fine, I'll play the next one, whatever, but I'm not... we talked about this before. I'm just not as ravenous about this series as I used to be. Let's see. So I guess the last thing that I wanted to bring up is that I actually was talking with somebody else about this, and they brought up a really good point. It was something that they talked about, like, really made them angry. Once they explained it to me, it made me really angry too. That because of the new endings, the new additions to the ending of Mass Effect 3, that stupid shit with Buzz Aldrin at the end of the credits doesn't make any sense anymore. Because, he's talking to the kid, and the kid's like, do you think I'll ever be able to go to space one day? And he's like, maybe, sweetness, maybe,
Oh, yeah!
And it's
Fuck.
like, no, everything's cool. We've got spaceships. Yeah, you go to space. We're going next Tuesday to see Grandma on fucking Titan. Like, that whole thing just doesn't have any impact anymore, because it's not like this. It's not like they're looking to the future for, what the new evolution of the universe is going to hold. It's just made pretty much superfluous by the fact that they've explained that everything gets fixed no matter what choice you make. And that in and of itself is kind of like... And so now this shit is just there as like, all right.
Well, I bet the BioWare team was like, come on, guys, we've got Buzz Aldrin. He's a real astronaut. I mean, he wasn't the first guy on the moon, but come on, we might as well have him around, We hired him to do this.
I'm going to say I've seen Buzz Aldrin in a few things over the last few years. You know, dude, I'm all about space. I love astronauts and everything. Buzz Aldrin is not a good actor. And, you know, I nothing against the guy or anything, but like wasn't he in the last Transformers movie? Like they rolled him out to talk to fucking Optimus Prime, and he was on an episode of 30 Rock, and like, you know, the guy's fine, but especially in this case where they were just using the voice, they needed a professional voice actor to really sell that last scene, and it just doesn't come across quite right. And
yeah, how many people playing who played that game even know who Buzz Aldrin is?
Well, yeah, there is that. So let's see. I think that's about it. I mean, I don't think this really quote unquote fixes the ending. I think that it makes it better, but I still think that you just have a storytelling problem of whipping this whole ending Star Child shit out of left field. Don't telegraph it at all. You just pull it out and you use it as a cheap and easy way to write yourself out of the corner of what do I do with this big galactic conflict. And I think that it's better now than it was, but, you know, putting chocolate sprinkles onto poop doesn't make it all, you know, doesn't make it taste super great. So that was really, I kind of mangled that one. I was
We
like, I
knew
don't
what
know where
you-
you're
what
going
you
with
meant.
this, dude.
But yeah, well, to be honest, I'm happy with the endings, just because they make a little bit more sense now, especially with the Control ending. I can buy that. Like, if you just give me a reasonable enough explanation and exposition, I can buy into it. So yeah, so I'm definitely would be fine with playing the new Mass Effect DLC and like to see how things continue in Mass Effect 4. I think that they missed a golden opportunity with the indoctrination theory since it was so cleverly thought out. But if you want to stick with the same old shit, then whatever. You know, I just hope that you learned your lesson and rehire the original writing team.
Well, fat chance of that ever happening. Jason, what do you think?
I don't know. I liked it. It was, I mean, well, I didn't like it. I liked it better. It was an improvement on something that they completely dropped the ball on, but it still wasn't good. You know, you can name so many franchises in the third episode that had much more satisfying endings than this. So yeah, it's, I would still, I mean, if we're going to give this an actual rating,
We don't need to do that.
No,
okay. General
then-
impressions is fine.
yeah, good. I just, yeah, it's, you know, it's interesting, and if you're a fan of the series and you do want a better ending, great. If you haven't finished it yet, even better. It's still not good,
Yeah.
but if you're not going to go back and play it again, you know, play that last section again, just to see all this new stuff, then yeah, fine. You're not missing anything.
Also, you know what? That actually brings up one final point is that you know, the instructions on basically how to see this stuff, they tell you to start at the assault on the Cerberus base before, you know, which is the fight that leads to the Earth fight that leads to the, you know, Citadel that leads to the Catalyst and all this stuff. Fucking hell, that was a long way back. Like,
Yeah, it was.
you know, BioWare, give us a goddamn break and just give us a save point,
Yeah.
like going like right before the run at the laser or something.
Yeah, give me 3 cutscenes that I can choose from.
Yeah.
How about that?
or even, you know, the other thing I guess is that I had to go back and play multiplayer to get my galactic readiness up to 100% again because the multiplayer readiness degrades over time, and I was just like, this is a fucking lot of work just to see like a new 10 minutes worth of ending.
Why did you do that? You knew that you'd just be getting the same, you know, shepherd breathing thing again.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that ahead of time. I didn't know what the fuck they were going to do.
Oh, come on. It's fucking BioWare, man. Like, even I figured that out.
This DLC was 2 gigs. And I don't know where those 2 gigs were because there wasn't a shit ton of new stuff.
Oh, it was
in here.
huge.
Yeah, but I mean 2 gigs could have, like, when I was downloading it, I was like, this could be big. This could change a lot of stuff. And the fact that they wanted you to go all the way back to the Cerberus base, I thought, oh, holy shit, they're going to start fixing this problem back at the Cerberus base through that storyline all the way up to the ending. But no, the only real changes happen in like the last 10 minutes. You just have to. That's the last mission that you can start at in order to get to this stuff.
And he puts real changes in quotey fingers.
I put this whole thing in quotey fingers. This whole goddamn podcast is in quotey fingers.
Did that all really happen?
Yes, but some of the details have been lost in time. It all happened so very long ago.
When can I go to the stars?
One day, my sweet,
What will be there?
anything you can imagine. Our galaxy has billions of stars. Each of those stars could have many worlds. Every world could be home to a different form of life. And every life is a special story of its own.
Tell me another story about the shepherd.
It's getting late, but okay. One more story.